All right, welcome back, everybody. So it is hard to find time to exercise without having access to gyms and working from home. So when you do get the time to exercise, it might only be like 30 minutes, so you feel inclined to work on some trouble spots out there. We've all got those, but we're focusing on these spots actually give us the results we want. We need to ask this question to Ashley Broder of Active Lifestyle Fitness over in Agawam. So Ashley, that's the question. Is that going to work if I do some spot training?
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of times when people have limited time, they feel inclined to just work on trouble spots, namely usually back of the arms, abs, lower back, butt, things like that. And while you can add a little bit extra to your workouts, maybe to work those spots a little more efficiently, you don't want to just focus on those areas alone. And it's also important to remember that when you're working on your muscles, what are your goals here? And a lot of times I hear the term tone, and tone isn't actually a thing that you do to your muscles. It's you either grow your muscles or your muscles shrink. So we want to work on muscle growth along with fat loss. So adding some cardio in, watching your diet will help you give you a little more definition. So you can do whole body workouts to work all of the spots of your body, and then maybe add an extra couple sets in for whatever part you want to work on, but don't just focus on that one alone.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially because, and you could probably overexert yourself as well if you're just working on one muscle in particular that doesn't get it a lot. It's weaker, as you've already admitted, since you're spot training it, right?
Yeah, I've seen that happen too, where people, for instance, want to do a ton of push-ups or a ton of pull-ups, body weight exercises. They actually end up giving themselves tendinitis, because what happens is when you work that small muscle or even some of the bigger muscles way too much, way too often, you end up aggravating your tendons and your ligaments because it's not supposed to be worked that much. So you want to make sure you phase it out enough. If you don't want to work your upper body muscles 2 days in a row, if you feel like it was a pretty intensive workout, or your lower body 2 days in a row. So try to alternate your exercises. If you get one really good upper body workout a week, maybe two, that's sufficient. You don't need to do it all the time. And then, like I said, get some balance in there, get some cardio in, and make sure that your diet is on point too, because that's really going to help a lot with your results.
That was exactly what I was going to ask you. So to get tone, like I always hear, like 90% of all of this is it's with the diet, and then 10% actually comes with, let's say, the gym in that example. So is that true, like thinking of it that way, to get such muscle showing?
Yeah, so in order to grow your muscles, because remember we said the only two things you can really do your muscles are shrink them or grow them. The toning that people refer to is actually growth of muscle with fat loss. So yes, definitely including the appropriate diet for what you're trying to accomplish, which is to grow muscle and lose fat, meaning that you're adding in a little bit more protein, you're getting a nice balance, maybe doing a little calorie reduction if you're trying to lose a little bit of fat, or adding some more cardio in will help to give you that defined look. And then making sure not to hammer too hard on specific areas. There are some areas like your abs and your lower back. People always ask me, well, how often should I do abs? How many ab exercises? Realistically, the abs and the low back muscles are very long, flat muscles. So you're not going to get much change in what they look like. Those are where we hold the most fat in our bodies. So that's where you really want to make sure your diet is dialed in if you want to see any changes in the abs or the low back.
So I was going to ask then, so my abs are obviously much bigger than, let's say, my triceps. So those are pretty big, if I don't say so myself. So what I want to say there then is my abs, do I have to work those out harder then to get results compared to the smaller tricep, or no?
So the triceps a little bit bigger, rounder of a muscle, so you might see more of a growth in width if you work it, whereas abs are very long and very flat, so you're not going to see much of a difference in the shape of an ab or a low back type of muscle. But the good thing about abs is that they work so much, so often. Different muscles have different jobs in our bodies, that you could work abs every day if you wanted to. However, it's not going to give you that much of a change if your diet isn't also dialed in. Because like I said, that's where we hold the most fat. So you'd actually have better results by doing moderate ab work, because we want to do that to make sure we keep the center of our bodies nice and strong and nice and healthy, but also adding in a little bit of cardio and watching what you're eating as well. Also important to remember that a lot of this is genetic as well. So I think some of us all have friends that have a six-pack of abs no matter what they do.
They never worked for it at all.
Yeah, they never worked for it. That's genetic. And some of us are, just genetically larger people. You may never see a six-pack in your lifetime, and that's okay too. But you do still want to work on to keep them strong and healthy.
It is okay, no doubt about it. You're fine just the way you look, but it never hurts to learn how to make yourself look a bit more toned. How do folks get in touch with you then, Ash?
Check us out, activelifestylefitness.com. We're in Agawam. Happy to help you out.
Great stuff. Be well, all right?
Thank you, too.
Take care.